Great. Thank you very much. It is 6:31, so we will call to order the monthly council meeting agenda of December 19th, 2022. First matter is an approval of the agenda. A motion to approve. Councillor Doiron, and a second. You were the second. Councillor Doiron is the second. Councillor Gallant. Anyone opposed to the agenda or anything to add at this point? Thanks. Carried, and we'll move on. Land acknowledgement. We're going to do this at the beginning of all council meetings. Recognition that the land upon which we are gathered here today is the traditional and unceded territory of the Abogwe-Mi'kmaq First Nation. And we have a duty and a responsibility as a community to preserve and protect this land for future generations. Any conflict of interest declarations from councillors? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 2, minutes. There are going to be 2 here. First, the approval of the monthly council meeting minutes of November 21st, 2022, and then separate approval of the special council meeting minutes of December 5th, 2022. I would need a motion to approve and a second for the approval of the monthly council meeting minutes of November 21st, 2022. And a reminder, you had to be at the meeting to make a motion or to second it. So approved from Councillor McColeman, and second, Councillor Gallant. No. Ramsay. The Barbs. Yeah, Ramsay already. First meeting, and anyone opposed? Hearing none, those minutes are carried into our record. The second, approval of the special council meeting minutes of December 5th, 2022. So moved from Councillor Snow, and a second. Councillor Doiron. You weren't here? Okay, then you cannot. You were not here. No. Councillor MacDougall. Excellent. Second. Any opposed? Hearing none, those minutes are also carried into the record. Good work so far. Accolades and recognitions. This is a new item on our council agenda. I'm opening the floor. Councillor Snow.
Thank you, Your Worship. Great timing. Yesterday, some of our local hockey players, Coach Billy McGuigan and young McNeil and young Crane, both played in the gold medal for the World Junior A Hockey Championships, finishing second and winning a silver. I'd just like to really congratulate them. It's an awesome honor, one, to represent your country, and for them to do so well. Young Crane, who is captain of our Junior A team here in Summerside, also captain Team Canada East. So they have lots to be proud of and did very well, losing to a very strong USA team yesterday. So I just want to wish them all the well and congratulate them on how well they did.
Yes, and I'd just like to take a moment to remember Police Deputy Chief Dave Griffin, who passed away this week. Like to send condolences out to his family on behalf of this council. It's a very sad time for everybody, so I just wanted to do that.
Thank you for doing that, Councillor Ramsay. We're all supportive of that, for sure. Councillor McColeman?
Okay. I want to acknowledge St. Paul's Parish. They will be putting on a Christmas dinner with all the trimmings, and it's open to the community. It's by, certainly not just people of the parish, but people in the community who find that they're alone, and I believe it's December the 23rd. There's a segment of ours, but it's Joanne and John Perry, and I just like to compliment them for their efforts to the community. The other one is Trinity United Church. I want to acknowledge that they are having a blue Christmas service tomorrow, December 20th, for anybody who finds that they're going through any type of a grieving process, loss of anyone, and I just want to thank them for remembering that type of a service to people in the community at this time of year.
Thank you, councillors. Moving on to item 4, public presentations, petitions, and delegations. There are none scheduled for this evening. Item 5, into reports. Councillor MacDougall, Finance Representative, you're up.
Thank you, Your Worship. I do have a report here by Director Kristen Dunsford. So I want to say good evening to my fellow councillors and residents and businesses of Summerside. My report tonight starts with the status of our utility accounts receivable at December 14th, 2022. The total overdue balance is $167,900 compared to $163,600 on November 14th, 2022. Approximately 10.8% or $18,100 of the overdue balance is greater than 60 days past due. This compares to 8.1% or $13,200 on November 14th, 2022. Customers who have an outstanding balances and have not requested a payment arrangement are strongly encouraged to do so, and they can contact our financial services at 902-432-1230. Our collection process continues with overdue notices being generated and mailed to customers. We encourage customers to sign up for the utility customer portal and budget billing program. Please see our website at www.summerside.ca, or you can email us at customerservice@summerside.ca, or again call us at the number 432-1230. Our preliminary financial results are projecting a small surplus for our 22-23 fiscal year. Departments are continuing to review and adjust their projections to March 31st, 2023. So please be aware that these are preliminary results, although we do not expect them to change significantly. City departments have submitted capital and operating budgets for our 23-24 fiscal year. These budgets will be reviewed by administration, and draft budget will be presented to council in early February. We expect to present this budget to our residents in early March 2023. And just a reminder to councillors for any priorities for this year's budget, if they could either contact myself or contact our CAO or Kristen Dunsford. We'd like to talk about that as soon as we can. Applications to our community support program for the 23-24 budget are due on Thursday. We're due on Thursday, December 15th. And for those who received a community support grant for 22-23, please be advised that your final report is due by December 31st, 2022. Thank you for the opportunity to present this report, and either myself or Director Dunsford are available to take any questions. That's my report, Your Worship. Any questions? Or
Thank you, Councillor.
I do have a couple of comments. It's always a great week when you can start off with an announcement like we had here this morning, you know. And this council is so fortunate, the past council is so fortunate that, you know, councils previous to us were on their knees begging for developers to come to do business in Summerside, and you know, for the announcements that happened this morning with the almost $15 million for one project, and then almost $3 million for the Lifehouse project. It's a great way to start a week, and a great Christmas present for this city. So I want to thank all levels of government, federal, provincial, municipal, and you know, even the developers themselves. They're the ones that are taking the gamble, and you know, we can really make things happen when we all pull together. So just wanted to pass that along, and just a reminder of the Federation of PEI Municipalities are having their semi-annual meeting, and it's on January 14th, and we usually have a good showing of councillors here, so if you could get Sandra to register you for that. It's on a Saturday. And also just the FCM conference in Toronto is in early June, and we should make arrangements for that very soon. So if you're interested, please let us know, and we can get Sandra to book some space for that. So I think that's all I have, Your Worship, other than I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Councillor MacDougall. Councillor Doiron, Technical Services Representative.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I would like to thank Director Aaron MacDonald for the preparation of the report this month. The 2022 construction season is coming to an end. The water main replacement work on Central Street has concluded, and the next 2 phases will be constructed next year. The sewer replacement and storm sewer project on Cedar Street is done for the year and will resume in the spring. The infill tender is completed on Glen Drive and Halley Drive. The storm project on Glover Shore Road has also been completed, including the work at the Water Street intersection. The active transportation trail is wrapping up on Greenwood Drive from McLeod Street down to Water Street. 13 building permits with a value of a little under $2.6 million were issued for the month of November, with a total year-to-date of 207 permits and a value of $47.1 million. A couple of larger apartment buildings are under construction and starting to take shape. Of course, there's the 60-unit building off of Simmons Avenue in the north end of the city, and a 27-unit building off Water Street East. This will bring just under 90 new units into the market with these 2 projects alone. So that is quite something. And I do have just a couple of notes from Aaron as well, just regarding a question that came about at last month's meeting, just with regard to the Central Street project. So that was budgeted for work this year. Or what was budgeted for work this year has been completed. We did design and tender for the next 2 phases at the same time. So that will bring it up to just south of the roundabout to complete Central Street. It's funded through a multi-year, multi-level funding program. So that's why we designed and tendered the entire street. So again, we only budget and completed up to as far as this year. And then just with respect to those 2 new builds, the 60 unit on Simmons, that is just off McEwen, south of the hospital. And the 27 unit being done on Water Street is just past the car wash and the Ben's Bakery outlet, or former Ben's Bakery outlet, I guess is. So just some details on that were raised at the last month's meeting. So thanks again to Director Aaron MacDonald. And if there's any questions, I'll be happy to either answer them if I'm in the know, or I will find answers for those questions. So thanks very much. And of course, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year. And whatever you may be celebrating at home this time of year. So.
Thank you, Councillor. Not seeing any questions?
I will sit.
It's up to you. You can. There's nothing against you standing for the entire meeting. Economic Development and Growth, Representative Deputy Mayor Corey Snow.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just like to start by thanking Mike Thuska, who compiled the report. Business and Retention and Expansion Survey has been completed with not the total results in hand yet, but they are coming in. The initial results are showing that we are definitely on a growth trajectory, and with this, we need to stay on the forefront of opportunities and challenges of our business community. The last survey revealed that the top priorities here in Summerside were availability of health services, availability of housing, and availability of skilled labor. So those 3 things are not anyone's surprise. We all realize that's some of the stuff that we are needing to continue our growth in the economic development field. So economic development is working with various approaches to help fill the known labor gaps, now totaling over 400 positions in all sectors, from aerospace to information technology. So Mike Tathuska and the team within Economic Growth and Development are going to really work hard to make sure that we're doing what we can to help our business community and those priorities. Lastly, I enjoyed the last 4 years of working in the community services and working with JP. I just want to wish Rick all the best as he's taken over the helm of that department and working with JP, and Best of luck, Rick, as it's a great department, okay? Cheers.
Thank you, Councillor. D, Emergency Services, Representative Councillor Ramsay.
Thank you, Your Worship, and welcome. Your first council meeting here this evening. First of all, I'll talk about emergency services just for a second. We've been working really hard on that over the last couple of years, and I know our new CAO has been involved, and Councillor McColman and myself, and we want to continue to work on that, and the community as well. So hopefully in the new year we can just kind of continue to do that. But we do have lots of work done. It looks like we're in good shape as a council. Council have been kind of keeping up on things as well and making sure we're on task, and I appreciate that from everybody. And we are. So I'm hoping, we don't have any emergencies, but if we do, it looks like we're good to go. And so that's what I have on emergency measures. I'm going to do police services report first. The annual Atlantic Women in Policing Education Conference was held in Charlottetown. Corporal Driscoll, Constable Wafield, Constable Lisi attended. They found the conference to be very educational, and there were excellent keynote speakers, and it was a wonderful opportunity for them to network with others. Honorable Darlene Compton, Minister of Justice and Public Safety, presented the first Police Long Service Awards to officers on PEI at a ceremony in Charlottetown. The following members received their award: Retired Chief Dave Poirier, Chief Walker, Deputy Chief Blackyer, Sergeant McLean, Corporal Cornish, Corporal Driscoll, Corporal Murray, Corporal Ryder, and Constable Doiron. Congratulations to those folks. Constable Gina Lisi, this is really exciting news because when I came to council 4 years ago, I began to fight for a police officer at Three Oaks High School. And every year it was a battle. But every year we ended up doing it at council. We did, and the province helped us with money, and that was just wonderful. But it was always such a fight. Well, this year that position is now part of police services. So we no longer have to fight for it. It's just something that's there. So, and who was hired was Constable Gina Lisi, was chosen to fill the position as the school resource officer, crime prevention officer, starting January 3rd, 2023. She hasn't been able to start this year because they were sort of refocusing over there. And now that they have everything in place, she's going to be doing the job. Her focus will be servicing all schools in Summerside area. So the role has changed a little bit, so she won't be only at Three Oaks. She's going to be at all the schools, which is really nice. So she'll be in all the schools in the Summerside area. We hope when the time allows, she will be doing proactive work in the community with seniors and other groups, educating them on how to protect themselves from crime. So she's going to have quite a scope, which is really nice. I'm just so happy that's up and going, and nobody has to fight for that ever again, I hope. So the police service has recently completed their reconstruction of new hirings, which allowed them to implement a 2-person traffic section now. So we have 2 people looking after that. We've had so many complaints on trafficking and safety and all that. So now we have 2 officers who will be doing that section. Road and safety is an important component of overall community well-being. The section will be focusing on areas of concern such as school zones, crosswalks, speeding, etc. We hope that these new traffic enforcement efforts will address some of the behaviors of those who fail to follow good driving rules. So happy about that as well. Something we've been looking for a long time. The police services recently held an annual Cops for Christmas at the Cup in collaboration with the Salvation Army. That was 2 Saturdays ago. I attended. It was wonderful. A lot of councillors came out and brought gifts, and thank you for that. I'd like to share a quote from Major Elaine Bry from the Salvation Army, and she said, this was community helping community. My heart is full. We are all so blessed to live in this town. There will be many children smiling at Christmas because of your giving. So she wanted people to know that in the community, and thank you to police services for always, every year, taking that upon themselves to make this happen. And So I'd like to thank the members of police services who helped out with the event and the training. There were 20 members trained in use of force as part of the mandatory training under the PEI Police Act in November. Constable Metallic is participating in the UPEI's Mi'kmaq language training in Charlottetown. That's my report, and this report came from Sinclair Walker, so if there are any questions, if I can't answer them, I can take them to Sinclair. So that,
I just have one. Just as recently taken over for finance, I guess I'd be shot if I didn't ask the question. The school resource officer, is this being paid for the province, or was this a budgeted item, or how did this come about?
so with the reconstruction of the services over there and where they're placing the officers, and I believe they eliminated the part-time positions to full-time positions, which allowed them to be able to put people in different roles. Am I correct, Gordon? I don't want to mislead.
I think that's certainly part of it. We have funding from the province for
Okay.
about half a year's worth of,
For this year,
correct.
yes, but I think it's ongoing. Is it not going to be?
We have funding from the province that will get us to the end of this school year.
Right, yeah, that's
Yeah.
my understanding. Okay.
Well, no, now, so I thought it changed, Gord, but maybe not. Director?
Anyway, we can,
We can have the discussion after,
Yeah.
but I thought that was going to be a permanent position from now on, as well as the 2 traffic officers. I thought that's how they reconstructed it, but we can talk about that and find out for sure, and I can bring it up at January's meeting. If,
Okay.
to clarify, if
Yeah.
that's okay? All
yeah,
right.
sure, thanks.
Okay. And now I have my fire service report. There were 29 calls paged out during the month. Firefighters trained for a total of 402 hours for the month of November. And there's a list of what the training was, but we kind of go over that most months, and so we have an idea on what that is. Summerside Fire Services were proud to host the 2022 Santa Claus Parade. For the first time in 3 years, we got to watch the good old-fashioned parade wind through the streets of Summerside and end up at the wonderful Yuletide Village over on Summer Street. It was lovely. A very special thank you to this year's sponsors who donated $8,500. And that was split up. The other night, Chief Ron did the presentations to the Kinsman Center, the Salvation Army, and the St. Elmo's Lions Club. And they were all very happy to accept that in contribution to their Christmas gifts that they do every year. They all pride themselves in making the holiday season a better time and a place for all families in need. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all of you. That finishes my reports. I don't know if there's any questions on that. No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Councillor Ramsay. Community Services and Tourism Representative, Councillor Morrison, you're up.
Thank you. I'd be happy to give this report that was done up by J.P. DeRoger. And actually, just before I start that, if I may, Councillor Barr brought up about the parade and all that. And I happened to be close to a group of people that actually went in the parade this year. And I didn't actually get to see it myself or partake, but they did. And they just had a wonderful night. They said it was amazing, and to finish off up at the park, they said everything was perfect, so just thought I'd pass that along. So back to the report for Community Services and Tourism. Hockey is back in full swing at Credit Union Place in the month of November. The Summerside Western Capitals played 3 home games last month. The Island Petroleum Energy Centre and Gerard Turk Gallant Arena played host to 4 regional tournaments, attracting over 50 off-island teams. Early December also saw the return of the 25th annual Ed McNeil Hockey Tournament, attracting over 16 teams from across Atlantic Canada. And so that tournament also would include or involve, I believe it's under 13, which for me would be Pee-wee, or they keep changing stuff on me. But anyway, I did happen to go out and witness a few games, and not only was it great hockey, but it was an amazingly well-run tournament. It was a real feather in the cap for the people involved there. It was wonderful, and just all positive, everybody that was there and talked about it. And the Confederation Bridge Aquatic Center at the Credit Union Place was also busy in the month of November, hosting 200 competitors for a Summerside Dolphins hosted swim meet. Aquafit classes had an impressive attendance throughout the month with a total of over 1,200 participants. Registration is now open for the Bronze Medallion and Emergency First Aid courses, along with the winter edition of swimming lessons. The Aquatic Center also welcomed the Department of Fisheries and Oceans and Holland College to complete required course training in the pool. In addition, the Dome is back in the action with the return of many sports organizations during the start to these winter months. Soccer PEI, Summerside United, and Mariners Football are among a few of the groups trying to stay warm and continue to train as the weather gets cooler. Finally, the Parks and Green Space Division continued through the month of November, dealing with many tree-related issues and repair work associated with Hurricane Fiona. It is hoped that by the end of December, most of the work related to the storm will be completed. Overall, the department looks forward to what will be a very busy Christmas season with the support hosting of the first Yuletide Festival, the annual Santa Christmas tour through the streets and neighborhoods of Summerside, and as well the fan favorite New Year's Eve blowout that will include programming in all areas of the Credit Union Place and the Dome this year. So just in closing too, I'd also like to say that wish everybody happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And if there's any questions, I'll do my best to answer, and if not, I'll find the answer. Or find the person with the knowledge to answer them.
Thank you, Councillor Morrison. Moving on, Governance, Human Resources and Communications, Representative Councillor Adams. Councillor Adams is out of town. Councillor Snow, you're going to be presenting her report?
Yes, it's a nice short one too, so anytime Councillor Adams wants me to present, I'll take it on. Human Resources Report, the Joint Occupational Health and Safety Committee, as well as Department of Subcommittees, continue to meet on a regular basis. The department provided support at various meetings this month. A review of the city's occupational health and safety program is ongoing, with updates being made as required. Part-time staff were interviewed and hired for the bowling lanes and front desk at Credit Union Place, along with 6 new firefighters. Staff events in December included a holiday party, fitness advent calendar, and a cookie decorating station. Staff have started preparations for payroll, year-end reports for CRA. That is the Human Resources Report. Just again, I'd like to wish everybody Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.
Thank you, Councillor. Municipal Services, Representative Councillor Gallant.
Your Worship, Councillors, I'd like to thank Greg Goody for preparing the report. So it's for electrical, water, and sewer utilities, so I'm going to break them down. Public Works, the department had fully transmission into winter operations for snow removal and salting operations now that the winter has fully arrived with a winter storm on December 14th, 2022. Residents are reminded to reference our snow removal operations procedure on the City of Summerside website and social media. The new sidewalk machine purchased this year has been doing its job flawlessly at the start of the winter season and will be greatly upgraded to relieve sidewalk clearing this year. Water and sewer and utilities. The Summerside Water and Sewer Utility Annual Report for 2022 will be on the website in late January. Residents are reminded that all water testing reports can be found here with chemicals, chlorine, and bacteria testing for the portable drinking water delivered to the residents of Summerside, along the stature of sewer efficiency into the Summerside Harbor and Malpeque Bay. Electrical and utility. The city-wide outage on November 20th was conducted and finished, and necessary upgrades of the work remain online, feeding Summerside electrical customers for Maritime Electric transmission system. No more planning city outages will occur until spring of 2023. Summerside Electrical participated in the Santa Claus Parade and 2 utility trucks decorated for community support. Now that the storm season in winter is upon us, the community service electrical customers are reminded to call 902-432-1268 to report any power disruptions to their service. All planned power outages are reported on a City of Summerside social media and the news section of the website. The renewable energy being supplied to the City of Summerside customer surpassed 60% this month. A great windy month saw production from the wind farm greatly reduce the carbon footprint to the electrical utility and its customer energy carbon footprint. Greg and I went on Friday to visit the water treatment plant, and I would like to thank Sam and Winston for a very good tour. I really learned a lot. And today, Greg and I toured Public Works, and I would like to thank Owen and Brett for a great tour, which I really appreciated. And I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. The end of my report. Any questions?
I don't have a question, Your Worship, but Councillor Barber, if you could pass on in your role to the Director, Greg, and staff. I've heard a lot of really positive comments about the lit Christmas tree that bears light all over the City of Summerside, and people really look forward to those different changes in the lighting, and just to thank them for the great work.
I will do that. Thanks.
And just a comment, Councillor Gallant, and I mentioned this to our CAO. We'd like to have the plowing off the boardwalk moved up to be included as part of the sidewalk system, instead of having it a day and a half open after like everything else is open. I think there's a way, because if we look at it, that is the most used sidewalk in the city, and whenever that's open, that parking lot is full down there. And I know the last time, and they do get at it as soon as they can, but I think we need to have a conversation with Municipal Works to see if there's a way that, because it takes about 20 minutes to open that, and that's, you know, I think there's an opportunity there to get the people out walking a lot earlier. So.
Just to referring to the comment that you made, we did have this discussion this morning whenever I was there.
Great.
And that's something that we're going to be working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gallant, and for the response and information. Arts, Culture, and Diversity, Representative Councillor McColman.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening, members of council. I'd like to thank Director Laurie Ellis for the preparation of the Culture Summerside report this evening. I'd like to report on and capture some of the highlights of Culture Summerside's activity for the mid-November to mid-December timeframe. As the new representative councillor for Culture Summerside, I'm looking forward to working with them. And I think we will be planning on regular monthly meetings to just go over initiatives, goals, and planning. The first thing that I'll bring highlights on would be the magic of Christmas, Christmas trees through the ages and exhibit. I did attend that one of the evenings, but it's gone throughout this whole period of Christmas season. And Culture Summerside is celebrating the holiday season with the magic of Christmas, trees through all ages, and the main floor of the historic Lafergie Cultural Center has been transformed into an exhibit of over 30 Christmas trees decorated according to the trends and traditions of various time periods. The year's additions include 2022 Rainbow Tree, the Poinsettia, the Snowball, and the 1920s trees, and it's just fabulous to see the work that they've done. The program has extended hours and open days to correlate with the community's Yuletide Festival. Many people that were at the festival did attend the tree tour that same evening. Several hundred visitors have attended the exhibit since its opening on December 2nd, as well, in addition to visitors from some of the homeschooling groups over 350 students but from nearby schools ranging from kindergarten to grade 9 are registered to visit. And I think that's an aspect of culture, but also of education for our young people. The collection of work for archival staff at the McNaught History Center. The archives have been working on the backlog of archival materials requiring appraisal and descriptions. Staff continuously work to achieve the highest standards in collections, care, storage, and management for all archival and artifact collections, and they do a fabulous job. Their grant applications work is in process, and currently they're developing and submitting to agencies for the hiring of students for the 2023 summer season. As far as program planning for 2023, it is now under development. Some applications for financial support have been submitted to various agencies several months ago, and that's something that I believe, I was just speaking with Director Kristen the last 10 days or so, just on some of the things about their budget and whatnot. So those are things that are all in the works that they're trying to be very conscious of. As far as user groups, the Acorn Press and the Lady Slipper Rug Hooking Guild are amongst the growing number of community groups using the Summerside Interpretive Center for events and meetings. And another thing that I did want to point out on, as I think sometimes our committee reports do overlap, just because of what's going on this time of year. But the Summerside Yuletide Village was an amazing event that took a lot of effort through community services, downtown Summerside, Explore Summerside, as well as through the parade, through the hosting and the great organizing volunteer work of the firefighters and Chief Ron. And I think people have continued to make comments on how important and how successful that parade was. Over 75 floats, we've heard that tonight. And Yuletide Village has been used. We've run into some weather that hasn't been the best, but the thing that amazes me is people really, the same thing as what happened downtown in the summer. They want to see that grow, and I think we're on to something that is a good thing for Summerside to see it so classically done up. Carriage rides, hot chocolate, music, those kinds of things that are free, that people and families can enjoy, and our seniors. So I think if we build on that, it's really important. There's a portion of my portfolio with diversity which I haven't had an opportunity as yet. I'm waiting to start meeting regularly, as I said, with Culture Summerside, because right now I'm up to about 6 to 8 meetings a month with various groups in what I'm working on in the community. And I just find that with family, with working, with all of us, like trying to fit them all in, it's a bit difficult. So I'm hoping we can find a way with people to make sure that that inclusion and diversity takes place in any of the initiatives that we try to work on, with the challenges of staffing and timing and those kinds of things. And in closing, I just would like to, on behalf of the residents, wish them a Merry Christmas. I want to wish all of you and Mayor Dan a very wonderful Christmas season. I hope Santa Claus will find us and we don't get lumps of coal. And just looking forward to building on a lot of initiatives and the annual budget. And folks, I will be fighting for Culture Summerside in the budget and downtown. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Councillor McColman. As long as you're just talking about it, that's fine. And myself, a report for Federation of Prince Edward Island municipalities. I have nothing to report at this point in time, given this is day 14 of my current and new role, and there has been no activity in those 14 days with respect to FPIM that Bruce hasn't already identified, which is the semi-annual meeting coming up in mid-January. Invitation will be sent out, if it hasn't already, to all of you, and obviously look forward to attendance, and we will certainly have a conversation about Federation of Municipalities as well. I guess, Gordon, also we should put a note on perhaps the committee of the whole, next committee of the whole meeting. I think Councillor Snow had expressed an interest in Federation of Canadian Municipalities. Yes. And that may require a motion from council. Is that correct, Bruce? Would you, it will. Okay, so we can make a note on that, as long as that's within the timelines that we're working. Great. A couple other closing remarks here before we adjourn for what may be the shortest council meeting in the history of Summerside, I'm not sure. First, thanks to the residents who are here tonight, and those who have joined us online. I think it's really important to make sure that we are approachable and accessible to all residents, and I know that you are certainly here, and that you're welcome to join us at all times. Reminder to council as well, at the conclusion of tonight's meeting, the CAO is going to provide a status update to council with respect to RHI funding and some of those particulars. So Gordon will present to us after this meeting. As well, this was a quiet meeting this week. I certainly don't anticipate or expect any of them again to be like this, except to maybe next Christmas. Things will be there will be livening up certainly at our next committee of the whole meeting, and I look forward to that. And to all of you and to everyone here in Summerside, I wish you all a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'm looking forward to it. No question about that. So with that, I'll call for a motion to adjourn. Oh, Councillor
I
Cole,
just
yes,
thought of something, Your
Yes.
Worship. I wonder if there's going to be any mention to what will be coming up for a levy.
Gordon? We did have a discussion about the levy. I think we are, I'll tell you what I know at least, is that we're having a levy.
That's what I was gonna say.
And when I was asked about it, I said, talk to Norma. She is going to be the expert on the levy. We will be having a levy. The particulars and the time, I'm expecting we will be posting that, but if we don't know that already, do we know that, Gordon?
I think it's 1:30 to 3.
Yeah, we're between Sandra and myself and the mayor, we're gonna keep the script pretty similar to previous years, so. That'll be shared on city social media, as we get closer to the new year. Yep.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to send an email out to that effect once it's totally confirmed, but I know invitations started to go out. And I look forward to that. It's going to be a great event. So now I'll call for a motion to adjournment. So moved from Councillor MacDougall, second. Councillor Morrison. Anyone opposed to adjourning the meeting for tonight? Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned. Have a good evening, everybody.